I feel very proud with how the movie has turned out.
It was really neat seeing the metamorphosis to this incredible feature film.
I think the best part of it is that we got to grow in our relationship with each other and the Lord, but also make a movie at the same time.
This felt like something beyond us. This felt like something bigger than me, felt like something bigger than anybody who worked on it. So I've been making movies since I was 10 years old with my friend Kyle. You know, we went from making movies like running around in the backyard with my parents' camera to making more advanced short films where we have like laser battles and other crazy things. But as we kept doing these short films, slowly but surely, you know, we kept kind of traveling towards this idea of making a feature film. And immediately in our heads popped up the idea to make a feature film out of our short film, Little Notes to Heaven. We knew that with this feature film that we were going to have a very character-driven story. You know, we're low budget. It's the struggle of every indie filmmaker out there. So we don't have like big budget special effects to play with or anything. We have to just really dive into characters, what makes them tick, what sends them on these journeys.
I was there when it all kind of began as a short story. It was really neat seeing the metamorphosis from that tiny little humble little short film to now this incredible feature film.
Little Notes to Heaven was basically a collaborative effort created by a bunch of friends, really. You know, most of us are in our early 20s.
I got to know Cody at a movie theater we worked at together. And then a year later, he was like, hey, I got the script. We're going to do this movie.
Cody and Kyle pretty much just, I wouldn't say dragged me in here, but, you know, I really wanted to be a part of the process, the movie-making process. And I was like a Swiss Army knife. You know, I did whatever they needed me to do. Also some of the music as well.
I made the score for Little Notes to Heaven. I've been making scores for Cody's movies since we first started. And I also took on audio engineering. It was a new thing for me.
So I met Cody Halford in high school, and that's kind of when this all started. And I did a short film with him a while back called Time's Blood.
Please, sir, you have to help me.
No, I can't.
Please, you have to help me. No. Where did you get that?
And then I saw him post this audition on his Facebook page, and I just felt like really compelled to respond to it, which was weird. I never felt that urge to do something. Obviously, it was like a total God thing. You know, now would be a perfect time for it.
What?
For you to finally tell me why you gave me that first note.
Well, isn't it obvious? I gave it to you so I could be here right now, in this moment with you.
Cheese ball.
What? Oh, come on, that was good.
Who says I don't like cheesy?
Oh.
I was, on the callback, I knew that I had to cry for this scene, and I'd never done that before. I didn't have very much experience to begin with, and then I was, like, really nervous about it. And so, at one point, Cody and I were just kind of sitting there. There was just, like, this really sweet moment, and I just, like, felt it coming, and I started bawling, and then I couldn't stop, though. And Cody's like, we can tone it back now. And I'm like, no, you've opened the gates. Amelia just kind of fit with my personality really well in general, I felt like. And then Cody also talked to me about how she was similar to someone in his life that he was pretty close to, and so that made it easier to kind of pick up on their relationship and their kind of quirks.
So I play the character of Kyle, and Kyle is like the fun of the movie. He's this fun-loving, goofy guy. I definitely had this sort of like Jimmy Stewart from It's a Wonderful Life character in mind, to where he just has these huge big dreams and, you know, wants to go on these adventures, but he just can't quite get out of this box that he's in. And I think Kyle gets a lot of his answers through Amelia, and that's what's beautiful about this love story, is that the Lord is able to use each of these individuals to help one another.
Have you ever stopped to think that
maybe people are missing out on you. Like, take right now, for instance. There's a guy in a field that gave you a note, and you took a step to be here. And if you hadn't, I would have missed out on you.
Thank you.
The shoot for this movie was a 6-month-long process of just shooting like once or twice over the weekends.
You know, us being younger kids, we all have school to go to. All of us had part-time, not full-time jobs.
And so that was just a lot all at once. And I think it was also sometimes hard because we didn't know, like, what are we making this movie for? Like, is this going to be for nothing, or is this going to go somewhere?
Shot 2, scene 26B, take 2, action.
What is happening here?
Oh, I am the director now.
The general vibe of filming on set was, I guess, friendship, really. Just kind of, you felt homey while making the movie. It just felt like you were with people who, you know, wanted to do the same things you wanted to do and cared about each other.
I mean, it was so nice to just not only be able to film and be artsy and have fun, but also have this good, solid group of people that I could count on and tell them if I was having a hard day or ask them to pray for me. And that was, I think, the best part of it, is that we got to grow in our relationship with each other and the Lord, but also make a movie at the same time.
The post-production process requires a lot of patience for anybody that works in it. And of course, me and my buddy Kyle, we were having to play multiple roles during that post-production process.
Cody and I, we would be going to bed around 5 in the morning after working on these films, and we'd wake up and get right back to it.
There were days that in post-production, we would look at the movie and think it was the best movie ever out there. And then there were other days where we wanted to just throw the movie in the garbage and just completely can it and forget about it for the rest of our lives.
You know, it's a process, and you know that this isn't just gonna be a smooth cakewalk. It's gonna come with some bumps in the road, and you know, we were patient with it, and we understood that, you know, God is gonna see us through it. We want to honor God through this movie, and it was something that truly kept me motivated through the whole thing.
Cody came to me and said that he would love to use some of my music on the film if I'd let him, and I was just so beyond excited. And not only that, there was a lot of local Dallas incredible talent that got to be featured. I feel like every song really does a fantastic job at explaining what's happening in that character's heart and in that character's mind.
Cody came up to me and he was like, I need a God theme for the music. I need a God theme that, you know, basically captures the character that I want, that is God in this movie. And it was a big deal to me. It was exciting because I was thinking, okay, I get to actually put my relationship with God in a melody.
One of my favorite parts of the entire process is when I showed the first rough cut of the movie to some of the core people who were working on the film. And just being able to see the reaction of those core people of the film, I just remember thinking, you know what? If this is it, if this is the only reaction I get, it was totally worth it.
Just going to the premiere, seeing everyone crying, like that was like such a cool thing, like to realize that they were touched by watching this movie.
It was a realization that like this felt like something beyond us. This felt like something bigger than me, felt like something bigger than anybody who worked on it. You know, it in a way it felt like something that was just completely out of our hands.
Man, I'll tell you one thing. It's probably not going to be used, but man, every time I watch this film, I get a headache from the end, like at the end of it, because I'm trying not to cry. Like I'm holding back tears.
I feel very proud with how the movie has turned out and what we came up with. It's like, you know, it's our baby, and it just kind of grew up, and you know, it's off to college doing things now.
I really appreciate how sweet this love story is, and I think that that's really special about it, but then it also deals with like heartache and, you know, tragedy that everyone deals with at some point in their life.
What I really hope audiences get out of the movie is maybe get more in touch with God, and people who are struggling in the same situations we had in the movie, turn more to God instead of just trying to fix it themselves.
It has what you'd want in every love story, plus more, plus a God element.
It was an encouragement to me as somebody who's going through a personal relationship at the time, to know, okay, you know what? It's okay to struggle. It's okay to not have the perfect, quote unquote, fairy tale love story. It's real and it's raw, but it's beautiful.
And ultimately, Little Notes to Heaven is a story about how love has victory.